Now let's speak about the area of public service. How can we ensure that, people who are in the job of giving to the public, that they do not use these goods for like self-enrichment?
I think there are two sides. The one is a proactive and the other one is a reactive side. Up till now, most of our focus have been on the reactive side. In other words, catching those who do wrong. And there are more policy coming to prevent public servants from abusing their position and actually doing business with the government, because I think that is where there's a conflict of interest and where things go wrong. But there's a recently approved new framework called the Integrity Management Framework that is now only starting to be rolled out. And there the emphasis is on the right place, I think, which is proactive. In other words, building that culture of ethical public service amongst our public servants. I think we should not only focus on what is wrong, but also focus on the type of culture and the type of person that we want to see in our public service.
And you also mentioned that it starts with me and you.
Yeah.
So what can you as a member of society or me as a member of society do to ensure that in the little community that I am or in the little space that I am, that I'm cultivating an ethical environment?
Yes, I think it starts first of all with the ability to say no to certain things. There might be group pressure. We might see everyone else bribing traffic officers, to take a very common example. But to stand up and say, no, I'm not going to play along. Because it's only when everyone starts playing along that you start creating this current of wrongdoing in society. But then I think equally important to do the right things. In other words, the old-fashioned things. Be honest, keep your promises, treat other people with respect, clean in front of your house. Very simple things, but it's by these simple things that we start building small ethical communities that grow larger over time.
And you spoke about the fact that elections are not the only answer to creating that kind of environment.
Yeah.
So what are some other values that you think needs to be added, especially in the political regime?
Well, if we look specifically at the political landscape in the midst of elections, I think that the very first thing, of course, is always tolerance, because the one thing that we don't want to see is political intolerance, which makes a mockery of democracy, because it prevents people from expressing views and expressing their preferences. But then I think it's equally important that there should be other values, such as freedom, such as a life of dignity for all, that are quite important. And we know, especially at this moment, racism still is an issue, but it's no longer the biggest issue. The biggest issue now is economic inequality. And that economic inequality excludes certain people from participating in our society. It also makes our society very unstable. So therefore it is important, when you make your political choice and you express that preference, that you take these priorities into mind and make sure that you don't only elect parties but also people who will be able to deliver on exactly those priorities.